So I'm here at Vermilion Lakes, Banff National Park. It's about 11:30. About 4 hours ago, my father passed away suddenly. He had been sick. In fact, he was just in hospital, but they had released him yesterday because he was getting better. He had some complications, but they felt he was good enough to be discharged and followed up separately. And then sometime this morning he had complications and he collapsed and was rushed to the emergency room. But the life-saving measures that they were giving him was not battling the infection that he had. So something had changed in his health in 24 hours. So I'm here in Banff. I wouldn't normally, I'm in Ottawa where my dad lived. I had booked this trip months ago, but one thing I procrastinated on, and for no good reason, was booking the hotels, because plenty of time, plenty of hotels. And then my dad went to the hospital last week with pneumonia, and I waited. I'm like, he was in ICU, and I wasn't about to leave with his health in question. But he got better. He was getting better. In fact, I didn't book the hotels until the Sunday that just passed. So, booked the hotels on Sunday, and my flight was on the Wednesday. So I waited. So I'm here, just traveling by myself on this photography adventure. And I'm here until next Wednesday. So today's Friday. So I got about 5 days to go before I'm supposed to return home. And I'm torn as to what to do. We know he's going to be cremated. That was his wishes. It's winter, so there's going to be no burial until sometime in the spring. There's arrangements to be made and things to do. His common law partner, she's being told now by my brothers. So things to figure out there. This was unexpected. I would have never have come if his health was this much in question. So my brothers don't blame me for being here. I am thankful, though, that they made it there on time. I got to FaceTime with my dad, with them, through his final moments. He was aware for a while. I got to tell him how much we loved him. Thank him for all that he did for us. It was a journey. Nature is one of the things that I do, I enjoy going out in nature. It brings me peace of mind, helps me heal, and part of my landscape photography work connects the two. Right now I'm a little numb, not totally motivated, unsure of what to do. By happenstance, the location I picked to park at the end of Vermilion Lakes sat at this bench. show you this little message here in loving memory of someone's father, Gerald Haft, who passed away back in 2013. But the message here: those we love don't go away, they walk beside us every day. So that message really hits home. Dad will forever be in my heart on whatever journey I take, and one day I'm sure we'll be reunited. Dad, if you're watching, if you're here with me, sorry I wasn't physically there. Sorry for the things that we did not get to do. Should have taken that photo you're looking for that day, Christmas, but figured we would do it a little down the road. We had intended fully to do that family photo. We knew we had to wait after, catching the pneumonia there, and but we thought we'd still have the opportunity, so apologies, Dad. Dad, with all my heart, I did want to go with you to a sporting event of your choice. I wanted to share an experience with you and with Mike and Rich. It's just tough. Love you, Dad. Now, for what's next for me, I do not know. I need to figure out if I'm going to stay or not. I'll have to talk with my brothers as the day goes on. We shall see. Just need to meditate and think of Dad and the good things. So just out for a solitary walk. Just out for a little walk here. It's strange, I guess. Funny, I'm not sure the right word to express what I'm going through right now. I'm here alone in Banff, and I wish I was with people, but friends and family, loved ones, to help work through the grief and emotion. I had thought about going up to Johnston Canyon just to hike it, leave my gear in the car. But that wasn't, and it's not what I'm looking for right now. Actually, this little trail, I'm on the Banff Legacy Trail. I'm not sure where exactly it goes to or how far. I do know it leads to a gate right next to Highway 1. I'm not sure where to go from there. The tracks ended, so I wasn't about to go exploring for that. think, as I mentioned earlier, getting out in nature is one way to help my body and soul. So if I couldn't be at home with my dad and his final day and with my family, for me, being in nature is comforting. Still not sure what I'm doing next. Right now, I'm just going to take it moment by moment, hour by hour, and day by day, till I figure out whether I'm staying or going back home. This is tough for me. Whenever my dad has gone into hospital, I've been pretty much always there, with rare exception. I just got to say goodbye to him, and family was with him. My mom passed away in August of 2018. With her, we knew she was sick. She had cancer. We knew it was terminal. And we knew there was somewhat matter of time, although we were shocked that she'd passed away, but she passed away overnight She passed away at the age of 76. My dad, 81, much more. He didn't have cancer to our knowledge. He had some skin cancer at some point, but nothing terrible there. But my dad had this ability to always bounce back, to always, take up the win that fight, win that battle. Even though, like I said, he's had many different health complications over the years, it just seemed he would always, get knocked down and then get right back up. So this is hard for us, hard for me. Obviously still working through this. I'm hungry, but I'm not hungry. I had, when I first woke up, I woke up to the text that Dad was going back to emerge. But at that point, we didn't know exactly what it was, how serious it was. And for me, it was about 5:30 in the morning. So I walked down from my hotel to McDonald's, grabbed a coffee and some breakfast, walked back to the hotel. Shortly after getting back to the hotel, I actually received a call from the Ottawa hospital saying that he was basically actively dying. Hard words to hear. Very hard words to hear. So I think I'm gonna take my trusty Jeep. It's the rental. Head up to Banff National Park, I think. Get a change of scenery. We'll see. Kind of just winging it. So it's the day after my father passed away. I'm up here still in the Canadian Rockies. I'm out at Bow Lake photographing the beautiful nature here. It's it's tough because this time last year I went on a trip to Zion, Death Valley, and Joshua Tree. That was about 5-6 months, whatever it is, after my mom passed. While I was on that trip, I'm like, kept on saying to myself, I really wish Mom was still with us, because I'd love to show her these photos, show her my experience. And now I'm in the exact same spot with my dad. This trip was pre-booked months in advance. I actually almost didn't come on the trip because my dad went in the hospital, but he was getting better, which I mentioned earlier. And then he passed away suddenly, early on in this trip. There's no way for me to make it back home. So now I'm here. I'm nature is a spot that is good for my mental health. It's where it helps bring me peace. So out here doing my photography, it's why I came out. But I'm also taking moments like this just to sit and reflect. Camera's down there. I'm in no rush. As much as I still want to photograph a whole bunch of locations while I'm here, if it happens, it happens. What is important for me while I'm out here is just taking the time that I need to try to heal and grieve for my father. He was never in enough health to do this even before. I would never have, at least, I actually could have, maybe about a year ago or so, but, I will say this for this part. So for those that are watching this, and that's dependent upon me actually sharing this, is if you're debating going on a trip with your parents, you just want to go explore yourself, do your own thing, or your parents and with your kids, take the time, do something that you'll all enjoy. It doesn't have to be these great hikes. Literally, this is especially in the summertime, this is a very easy area that I'm walking around. But even in winter, if you had snowshoes if needed, but people are walking by in just snow boots, and I did it for the most part. And really, I only put on my snowshoes because I didn't want to carry them. So take your time, find something that you will all enjoy, and go share that experience together. The challenge I have now when I get back is my brothers. We've never done anything like this. As young kids, we went to Canada's Wonderland and whatnot, but I don't think we've rented a cottage. I don't think we've gone on any sort of a trip. And to me, that's going to be important. I'm going to have to find a way, or I just need to take some time, talk to my brothers, and figure out. Maybe we rent a cottage. Maybe we go on a trip somewhere together. If it's just for a few days. And so we'll see. We'll figure something out. But that's where I'm going to leave this. Is I'm going to encourage you to spend some time with your friends and family and your loved ones. You'll never know when they won't be here. I can't even share the videos with my dad. He's gone. If he was in hospital, I could say, Dad, here's my trip. Here's some photos. But that time is gone. My parents are no longer with me. So I'm Sunday. I guess it's 2 days now that his dad has passed. We're at the Natural Bridge here in Yoho National Park. I had some unexpected support today from a couple of people I'd met through social media, and they happened to be out here. Though we didn't much talk about it, it was just nice to be around some folks. Share the same passion, photography, adventures, in our own unique way. So it was very nice of Ashley and Matt to, no, I'm not speaking about myself in the third person, Ashley and Matt to take some time out of their schedule to do some photography and, just chat about various things and then go out for a lunch. So from a mental health perspective, it's amazing what something like that can do. Especially not at home, not around friends and family. It definitely helps with the healing process. So if you know someone who's going through something, just being there for them. Not even, if they want to talk about it, great. If they don't, they don't. But just being there, doing whatever helps them. And today they definitely helped me. So thank you guys. I was thinking last night while I was at dinner, I was sitting in a pub and there happened to be a hockey game on. One of the things that we gave our father as a Christmas gift was my brothers and I taking him to, whether it was a hockey game or a football game, and share some time together. That didn't happen. With every intention, that was what we were looking to do. So for a while in the future, I can imagine every time I go to a hockey game or a football game or just watch it on TV, there will be that memory of the gift we gave our dad that we didn't do. We should have done before. You never know when time is up. Like, he was in the hospital, but he was trending better. He's fine. They discharged him. But then suddenly the next day, with an hour of getting a call, he was gone. The other gift that we were to give him, well, we gave him, we just didn't execute, was a family photo. It is one of the things that Dad had asked for and he was looking for, and we were more than happy to do it. It just didn't happen. And that's tough because I'm a photographer and we didn't make that happen. While my dad was in hospital before being discharged, I didn't almost come on the trip. I had the airfare booked. I booked this flight back in October, November or something like that. I knew I was going to come here in January. That was the plan. But I hadn't booked the hotels. And I had a car reservation, which you can easily cancel. But I held off on the hotels. I held off. And even at one point, my dad said, no, Matt, go. And I'm like, no, Dad, I want to make sure you're better. And I waited 2-3 more days before I booked the hotels. So it's hard. But I know my dad was excited for me to go on this trip. And it's unfortunate that I can't share the photos and the experience with him. But I know this is, like my mom, very happy with the fact that photography is one of my passions. And the fact that I was now taking the opportunity to travel to places both in Canada and outside of Canada. So if you're, this is partly how I'm dealing with passing of my father, and it's tough. But I take these moments of reflection. I don't want to forget. The hurt will be there for a while, but my father will always be in my heart. Love you, Dad. So it's today's Wednesday. About 5 days ago, I was here contemplating life of my father because he had unexpectedly passed away. And I started recording my thoughts. It's tough. It's absolutely tough, and it's heartbreaking. His sudden passing hurt. My father always had this knack of beating whatever. He had health problems, but he had this amazing superpower of just fighting back. But this time it was just too much. Within an hour he was gone. While I've been away, my brothers have been starting to deal with things, and it happens to be somewhat challenging time, but my father was actually well prepared for some of this and had pre-planned a bunch of stuff, which it was good on our dad to do. It's I just it's tough. I've been out here in Banff, for about a week. And a few days in, he passed overnight. He passed away. Early in the morning, within an hour, and thankfully I was on a FaceTime with him and my brothers. But I've been trying to deal with it, and what's ironic is today is in Canada it's Bell Let's Talk Day about mental health, and there are probably a few things that will occur in somebody's life that will impact them more than the passing of a loved one. And it isn't easy. It isn't easy to talk about. It isn't easy to deal with. But Father loved us. We loved him. He led a good life, somewhat difficult life at times. But he always did try to make the best of a situation, and sometimes in his own way, but he would he did care, and we cared about him. And now that he's gone, it's a hole in our life. Our mother passed away 18 months ago, thereabouts, in August of 2018. So both our parents are now gone, and that's tough. You never think it'll happen. Never think it'll happen. But you know it will, but you just don't expect it when it does. So I leave on this thought. Mom, Dad, we miss you. We love you. And if you're watching this and your parents are still with you, or one of them, or another loved one that you care about deeply, call them, talk to them, ask them questions, that you've always wanted an answer to, or just to know that to continue the story, document it. And that's what we're going to try to do. Is make sure both our mother's legacy and our father's legacy lives on for future generations.